Doo-doo, it is time for oddities. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Brought to you by NordVPN.
VPN. What is this color? Green. It's the green hue. I can't turn it off, sadly, and people have to turn it off. My stream deck doesn't want to work. I don't know why.
You've completed the crash course on theatre and wine, have you? Feeling smug, are we? Deserving of love, perhaps? Worthy of eye contact? That's cute. But there's still a lot more work to be done. Look here. These shoes are made from real Italian leather. This bag is made from the leather of real Italian.
Please, don't start already.
Not impressed? How about this fur coat? It's made from the wolf.
Oof.
Of Wall Street.
Wolf
An
of
Xbox
Wall
with the
Street, let's
original
go.
PT demo still installed.
What? Damn.
A signed first edition copy of Moby Dick with its little known sequel, Moby Balls.
God damn it.
And last but not least, the squid from Squid Game. Did you get it? Oddities. Weird stuff.
Weird
The
stuff.
first section's on perfume. Listen, I'm going to level with you. I kind of got distracted, and we went off topic. I don't
I'm like, are those oddities? A lot of them are just normal things, aren't they? Huh? Like,
even know what this is about anymore. Here's my Netflix stand-up special. It should explain everything.
Damn.
That's going to be a hard act to follow. That Kramer guy has some very good one-liners. But I've got some jokes lined up. Question. Why is perfume so expensive? Because you have to pay perfume.
Wow.
Why do they call it cologne? Have you ever smelt one of those? It ain't great. Huh? Mic must not be working. Deodorant? In this market? I'd want a deodor buy. Is this thing...
I want the deodor. Deodor owned.
Okay, let me tell you the story of perfume.
Pain.
See, to be fancy, people wanted to stink good. But people naturally stink bad. It's science. So in the beginning, people went to the garden to find the best-smelling things that they could. Here's a photo of the oldest perfume bottles ever found. And what's inside? Just garden stuff that smells nice. But we did not just stop at that, because the story of perfume is the story of progress.
The story
By the time
of
Cleopatra
progress.
came around, perfume science had really advanced.
I'm like, goddamn, what is this, Cleopatra?
You see, Cleopatra loved perfume. In fact, it was said that she had a whole perfume factory.
Nice.
Olfactory, I believe they called it. But this factory wasn't just mashing flowers. They were using emulsifiers, adding resins, creating tinctures. Cleopatra's very own Chanel No. 1 contained cardamom, cinnamon, olive oil, and myrrh. So we've gone from garden to pantry. And she loved spritzing the stuff everywhere, supposedly even spraying it all over the sails of her ship. That way people could smell her from miles off as she sailed the Nile.
Interesting. It's a legend about Cleopatra mentioned in the writings of Plutarch, also referenced in Shakespeare's Antony and Cleopatra. No one knows whether it's actually true or not, but people have done weirder things, right?
By the early Middle Ages, we had figured out the formula for perfume. Effectively, there are three main components: water, alcohol, and the most important bit, the aromatic oils. And by the way, perfume and cologne are actually the same thing, but in different ratios of these ingredients.
The term cologne has become a catch-all for masculine scents and perfumes for ladies, but there's a bit more to it. Men are typically more physical and sweat more than women, which means if you're wearing a spray that's 25% oil, you're quickly gonna get sticky and gross. So over time, cologne became the better option for men. Interesting. Only 3% oil. Damn. I wonder if that's the reason why their smell ends up lasting longer. Women don't have the same problem. The high oil content has the advantage of evaporating slower. It doesn't need to be reapplied as often. That's not the case in modern perfume and cologne from my personal experience. Like, I feel like perfume fades a lot faster. Like, I don't know about you, but like, I used my dad's cologne when I was like a kid on one hand and my mom's perfume on the other. I could still smell my dad's cologne after an entire day. My mom's one was gone in a few hours. It was just like gone. Dudes buying cologne and women buying perfume. The cologne scents all trended masculine and the perfume's feminine. Note the ratios are averages. And then oil 10% for the ooze are like 10 to 17, a lot less oil. Some countries have higher quality products. Of course, like it really depends, but they were like from the same or like a similar quality brand. And yeah, YouTube's probably gonna be confused about why I'm changing color and everything, but it's just Twitch interaction.
By the 1600s, they were trying all sorts of different things. Some things went well. Dude, pine. Pine. What about orange? I call it new car smell. But once global trade opened up, our taste became more exotic. Out of the pantry and into the petting zoo. For you see, it turns out that animals have been hoarding all of the most bestest perfume smells. Yes. In the olden days, a bunch of manly men would brave very rough seas in order to pull aboard sperm whales. Now, they would cut open the digestive tract and pluck out a secretion of bile called ambergris, or in English, grey amber. Sometimes they would harvest the rest of the whale, but eventually, ambergris became so valuable that it was simply more economical to dump the carcass back in the ocean and collect the next batch. Like when you kill a racehorse for its prize-winning jizz and then just leave it there on the tracks. Alright, quick science lesson, eggheads. Ambergris comes from the gross part of the whale. And when the whale eats...
I'm like, which part is the gross part? There are gross parts? What?
Something quite sharp, let's say human bones. The ambergris forms around them and protects the lining of the gut. That's the ambergris' role. That way, as the sharp thing continues down the intestines, the whale doesn't get poked. But if ambergris comes from a whale's digestive tract, what does it smell like? Surely not good. When it's dry, it smells kind of woody and earthy, but when it's wet, it smells like ass.
When it's fresh as feces, but when it cures in salt water, it develops a pleasant smell. I say.
But it's not actually the smell that's the useful function. Ambergris is a fixative. So what it does is heighten and bring out the scent of other things. These flowers, they smell all right, but add some ambergris and, that's the one. Now, once they figured this out, they realized, there's a whole bunch of things we can use a fixative for. And they got quite gross with it. They added it to food.
Just a touch.
In fact, it was said that King Charles's favorite dish was ambergris on eggs. But
it was sprinkled on top as a seasoning. It melts into the egg, accentuating the flavor.
There. They added it to rum. They added it to coffee.
MSG smells. What's MSG?
Added it to cigarettes and smoked it. And they used it as an aphrodisiac.
Jesus Christ, man. They basically used it to enhance a lot of different things. Oh my god. Monosodium glutamate in English. Okay.
A whale is a mammal.
That makes more sense.
But that's not strictly true. It is in fact a fish. Just look at the tail. And you may have also heard that there are a lot fewer of them these days. which, although a relief because their absence helps offset the sea level change, climate, whatever, we were worried that we might run out. So we said no more hunting whales for ambergris. But did that stop the perfumers? No. They immediately asked, hey, do you think there are any other animals that smell kind of weird? Yes. Turns out the musk deer has some potential. Now we hunt the male musk deer specifically because it has a particular gland called a musk pod, which, when dried out, looks like this.
What
and it
the
uses it to
heck?
mark its territory and attract mates.
This is so fucked up and weird. I didn't know any of this. This is like gross levels of what the heck have people been doing?
Now don't worry, unlike ambergris, this doesn't smell like ass. Instead, it smells like ammonia and piss. And you just can't
Ah, I think I'll take the ass smell over ammonia and piss. If I had to choose between them?
get a smell like that at all. So we started hunting them to the point where they were a protected species.
Lovely. Leave it to humans
So
to
the
be
authorities
idiots.
said, you have to find a different animal. So from there they moved on to hyrax feces. One of the most feared and dangerous animals in all of Africa. And it was the inspiration for
Africa. Yes. I love the shit pun right there.
the original Lynx Africa smell. Now, their feces, when dried, is called hyracium, or Africa stone.
The fuck?
But it's not just these ones.
Why?
They have other stones in Africa. Come on, guys. Now, the smell is fairly similar to deer musk, but unlike the deer, the hyrax doesn't need to be killed or disturbed for their feces. They're just giving it away.
It's similar to moss, tobacco, and wood. Interesting. Nice. So now we just use their poop.
In fact, hyrax even
They
have a
found
communal toilet,
the cheat.
which is used for generations, which makes it very easy to collect up all the good stuff. But it's not just the hyrax, I've got other animals. Remember those civets from the virus videos? Wait, don't wash that thing's anus. Mom, get the bottle. Turns out it's the anal gland of the civet that's actually the important smelling bit.
Oh no.
Who's figuring this out? Why don't they use the good parts of the animal? It's the bacon part of the pig, you know? Anyway,
This is so weird. Someone really went and dug up a lot of shit, literally.
it's the ass that produces all the delicious musk.
It smells like shit.
Right, but it must be good for something because it goes for $4,000 a kilo. But we ain't done yet.
What
You know when you've
the
just
fuck?
killed a beaver and you cut open its ripe abdomen? Well, the reason it smells so good is because of a little gland called the castor sac, which makes a yellowy scum-like substance
God.
called castoreum. And it is used to waterproof the beaver's fur coat and also mark its
Oh
territory.
no.
It is also very fragrant. And you know what that means. If it smells, it sells.
Oh,
and in this
no.
case, castoreum is more kind of leathery, with smoky hints of vanilla.
Oh,
but
no.
unfortunately today, you're not allowed to harvest the beaver. They're walking
Thank
around
God.
very smugly, just like the other protected animals. But you know what? We don't need them, because we have a synthetic version of castoreum
Oh,
now,
thank
and
God.
it's just as good. And you know what?
Wearing cologne again. Poor Dad's like traumatized by this. Dude, I don't really wear perfume. I'm just like shocked at this. What the heck are you guys doing?
We've got a synthetic for the whale, the deer, and the civet now, and they're used in lots of mainstream perfumes. Modern day, we've got a synthetic version of practically everything. And even better, the
At least
advancement of
that.
synthetics has opened up a huge range of smells that were never possible to distill or capture before.
That's a lot of
and the
perfume.
result is some very silly perfumes. You know that bacon bit of the pig? We got that now. Windex smelling, pretty much anything you can think of, really. Someone has created a
Wait. Wait.
Windex smelling, pretty much
Moschino. Glue.
anything you
What?
can think of,
Funeral home.
really.
Oh man.
Someone has created a fragrance
Bread.
of it.
Burger
In some
King.
instances,
Oh
we're
my
even
God.
beating nature herself. For example, you know those roses that you get at the florist? And then people go, ah, these smell beautiful. But actually, those roses are not bred to smell good. They're so specialized for good looks, longevity, and disease resistance that they've practically altogether lost their smell. So often what the
Jesus.
florist will do is add an additional scent to the flower post-picking. And
Lovely.
typically a synthetic rose perfume is used because it lasts longer and doesn't dry out the flower. Yep, we're just that good. And what's the future for perfumes? Well, I don't know. But what I do know is it's going to involve some comedy gold.
I am like, what the heck, man? This video is really about oddities. Like, what? I did not know how much shit they went through with perfume. Holy moly. Like, that's insane. And I feel bad for, like, so many animals being hunted on the brink of extinction.
Anyway, where was I? Oh, yeah. My wife asked me for Chanel No. 5, and I was like, not right now. I'm watching the football.
Oh my, no!
You know, on the television.
Why are you explaining
I
it?
am going to say it. If it's good enough for Kramer, it's good enough for me. Ad time. This Christmas, she works in the big
This
city.
Christmas, we're gonna go
this and that.
game
But she's
just
going
like
home
every
for
other
Christmas.
Christmas.
Small towns are the worst. I'm a big city career gal.
Okay.
Oh my god, are you okay?
I am now. And she's about to learn the meaning of Nordmas. The most VPNist time of year with a 30-day money-back guarantee if you go to nordvpn.com/internethistorian. Ha 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 ha. Soon I will have installed public Wi-Fi in all of Nordville, and once they use
Nice.
it, their private data will be exposed. Governor Creven's got
I
this
love
town
his
by the
ads,
balls.
man.
And I can't believe that big city company you work for works with him.
Come on, we have to put up the Nordmas lights for the big Nordmas festival.
Nordmas lights!
Let's go ice skating. What?
He's so cute, but I'm a city girl.
Girl, you sound like you're in love.
I thought I knew what Nordmas meant, but it means nothing without you.
It's like the end of March.
It's always Nordmas time of year with Nord's huge discount on a 2-year plan. Use
always
the URL.
Nordmas.
NordVPN.com/internetstory for a 30-day money-back guarantee. It's the best VPN
Back to
in town.
nice.
Now I
Aw,
love small
thank
town.
you, we got
And
him.
I'm in love with Nordman. But I can't leave behind big city Korea.
True love and a really good VPN don't come around too much. You gotta take a chance.
Boss, I don't care about making partner at the firm anymore. I found my new home.
God.
Big public Wi-Fi is spreading across the city. Nordmas will be ruined.
Ho, ho, ho. Need a hand?
How are we gonna stop him, Nordman?
With this Nord
Why
themed
is this such a funny ad?
I love you, Nordman.
and I love you, big city woman. Let's go home and watch the international Netflix catalog. It's a Nordmas miracle. Go to nordvpn.com/internethistorian.
International Netflix catalog.
4 bonus Nordmas
Real.
months. Ad's over. You know, that ad makes me think about the time I nearly had a wife. Feels like a lifetime ago now.
Okay.
I was in Japan, living the digital nomad lifestyle. I had a startup selling
dream
seashells
right
down
there.
by the seashore. But I broke the one rule of being a digital nomad. I got mad.
You got
Shittily. And that's when I saw her. It was love at first sight.
Oh my
I remember
god!
her laugh,
Oh my
her
god!
touch. Every morning, breakfast in bed.
Oh my god!
But the truth was, I
What
had no
is
money.
this?
We
This is
couldn't live
brilliant.
on love alone. So I left. I sought out.
Did this get muted by by YouTube, I
and I bet
presume.
you're wondering
Yeah.
how I finally struck it rich.
I'm so sad. I'm so sad that he had to remove that section because of YouTube. Because now I'll never know how the story ended and why he never found love.
Well, truth is...
But let's make
and
our
I-
own story. Let's see.
So I left.
He left. He went back. He had an idea to sell sharp ceiling fans. Everyone was excited, but they didn't invest, so he went with the dog slide whistle. They were like amused, but no, they said that no money, no, he's not gonna get money or bitches.
How I finally struck it rich. Well, truth is, I'm the guy who invented the Joe Rogan podcast. Once I became a gajillionaire, I went back to that beach to try and find her. But instead, I hit her with my boat. We never found her body. But she had a secret. One she took to her grave that I was sworn not to tell. She's not around, so... Dude, she was a mermaid!
Of course she was. Of course she was. Why? His storytelling is so funny.
Come on, champ, we're going to Japan. And
Let's
here's
go.
where it all begins. In the year 2022. It's a Tuesday, probably. And local folklore researcher
Tuesday,
Hiroshi
you know.
Kinoshita is looking up some fantastical animals in the National Yokai Dictionary. It's like the bestiary from Witcher, right? And he comes across a photo negative of a mermaid mummy. Oh my god, he says in
Ningyo
Japanese.
is dull, isn't it?
Upon seeing the mermaid, he knows that he must track it down. He must form a team. Researchers, assemble. So he gets together the best damn crew that he can from the University of Science and Arts at the Okayama Prefecture.
Okay. I want to know where this
Plans
is
to
going.
track down the mermaid mummy, wherever it has escaped to. Now, it doesn't take him long to figure out that it's being held at the Inuit
I like the
Temple
Barbie
in
mermaid.
Asakuchi. You know the one. So he struts up to the sacred building. And there at the back of the temple is a fireproof safe. And inside of that is an old wooden box. And inside the old wooden box was the mermaid. We found it.
It used to be on display, but was put away in this box for the last 40 years to prevent it
We
deteriorating.
found a real one. But where did it come from? Well, alongside the mermaid was a note that dated back from 1903, and it said, a dried human fish, aka Ningyo, was caught almost 300 years ago over in the seas of Tosa. It was then dried out and taken to Osaka. And from there, it was passed around to many different people until it arrived at the temple. Now, the Ningyo have an important history in Japan, and sightings of these half-fish, half-human creatures have cropped up all across the country. Kinoshita himself had personally tracked down 13 of them all across Japan, usually kept in museums and temples. However, what you might not know is that traditionally they have been associated with bad omens. Aye. And everyone knows the infamous tale of Yao Bikuni.
I don't
But I'll
know
recite it
about
to you just in
Yao
case.
Bikuni.
So the story is that one day, a poor fisherman catches the biggest fish of his life. It was a strange-looking fish,
Thank you, Migata.
and its head was almost
I
human-like.
appreciate it.
But he brought the fish home and invited all of his friends and family to come over for a feast to celebrate his largest catch. You know, he's got his arms stretched out like this. He's like, it was this big. No, it was this big. I swear, it was this big. During dinner,
It was the
one
biggest.
of the guests sneaks into the kitchen to see just how big it was. This big? I can't believe it. And he discovers that it is actually a Ningyo. Oh no, he says in perfect Japanese. Now he quickly warns the other guests, don't
Oh no! Perfect Japanese. Oh god.
eat it. And he warns them just in time. Teishi! They've got their fork like right up to their mouth. Teishi eating that! Teishi, don't do it! They throw all their food away. Let's just have some rice and drink the night away. Okay, so they do. And they have a lovely evening. However, One very dishonorable guest decided to sneak a bit of the meat out of the trash and put it in his pocket. He then goes home drunk
Swiped
and falls asleep.
the human
He didn't
fish
eat it.
meat.
But when he woke
Nom,
up the
nom,
next
nom.
morning, he checks his pockets and... no!
It was gone. The cat ate
The
it.
delicious fish piece is gone. Turns out, in the night, his daughter had been rummaging around in his pockets looking for treasure, and she found the meat from his pocket.
What the fuck? Where is this story even going? I feel like this is like an ad-lib type story where you just like make your own narrative of what really happened.
And she was such a greedy guts that she decided
Guts,
to
huh?
eat it then and there. The father was terrified for his daughter, but she didn't seem to be sick. Do you feel weird at all? And shaking her. He decided not to tell her anything. Maybe it'll all be okay.
Maybe it will all be okay. Copia. Yeah,
From that
maybe.
day forward, the daughter never aged. That's right. She remained a young adult forever. She eventually went on to marry.
Damn.
But as her husband got older, she stayed the same age. Eventually her father got old
Very
and
sussy.
died. And soon enough did her husband too. Everyone she ever knew was getting older and dying, but she remained the same age. She was immortal. Eventually, at age 120,
Sleep well, Jin.
she decided to shave her head and become a Japanese nun. She traveled the country, planting trees as she went, and she did this for 800 years. But eventually,
Damn.
she grew tired. You know what? I'm tired of living. She entered a cave in her hometown of Obama. And she was determined to never come out again.
Bruh.
She begged and prayed for the curse to end, but it never did. She sat.
Yaobi Kuni means 800-year-old nun, but often 800 is used as a number that figuratively means ad infinitum, or an uncountably large number. It's saying that she's very, very old, I say.
Sat in that cave for so long that she turned to stone. And today, at
To
the
stone.
Kuinji Temple in Obama, remains the cave that Yao Bakuni entered. People have
Okay.
been into that cave to check whether she's still in there, but nothing was found. However, a stone statue of her resides at the entrance.
Nice.
And colloquially, it is called the Barack Obama. So we're back with Hiroshi.
Nice.
He asked the Inuan temple if he could borrow the Nino.
I'm like, why? Why did we have this ad-lib self-made story? Very. Baroque. Ah. I just want to like facepalm at that.
Look, let me do a little CT scan on it, right? And they agreed. Hiroshi hands the Nino to a team of scientists, and they get to work. They do their tests. Beep, beep, boop.
Hi, Fambuki, welcome in.
Control plus scan on the keyboard, and here are the results.
It's stage 4 cancer. I'm so sorry.
Oh my
No,
god.
but really, turns out the Nino dates back to the 1800s. The note that said it was from the 1700s was wrong. Its body is made from cloth and cotton, wrapped in pufferfish skin. The
What?
tail was made from
Damn.
a croaker. I don't know what that is. What is. Can we show that on the screen?
Croaker
With
is a type of fish. The mouth is from another unknown fish. The hair is
the
unknown.
mouth of a different fish and the hair of a mammal. And they can see that there's a metal nail in its back. Oh my god, it's invented tools. The forensic analysis and the construction materials in its back did cast some doubt over its authenticity. But you gotta believe in something, damn it.
Uh-huh.
Aye. As promised, the Nino was returned to the Inuan temple, where it still lives today. But where, oh
In a
where
box.
did my mermaid go? It's her!
Oh
You're-
my
you're
god.
back. You know what, I kind of missed you. And what the hell is that? You know what? I never did find her again. I think these things are a big myth. We're here on the ancient.
Oh, I feel like I need to go and read or like listen to the actual story. But ninjas were interesting. I didn't know that there were so many human fish artifacts being displayed. I mean, good info, I guess, for my trip to Japan to like look at that.
Streets of Cairo, and there is our destination. In these triangles, the greatest luxury that all the elites crave. Oh God, no, not that. The second most thing that mummies.
Ah, yes, I am familiar with this one, very much so.
You can find them in these tombs, and there's only ever like one dude guarding them. But before we take, we must understand. Mummification started over 5,000 years ago, and they were first discovered by the Europeans in the 15th century. But the legend goes the locals knew about them even earlier than that. It's an elaborate process, but essentially, you're drying the person out, turning them into a human salami.
Salami?
So when the Europeans found all these mummies, what do you think they did? Well, put it in a museum, right? Wrong.
No.
They used these mothers for everything, and everybody wanted them. What do you mean they used them for everything? Well,
What?
fancy people would take whole mummies and show them off to their friends at fancy dinners.
What? What? Huh? One of the most ghoulish and lesser-known ways upperclassmen Victorians got their creepy kicks was by hosting and attending mummy unrolling party. The host would buy a mummy from an auction, and then the invites would go out and they'd unwrap it. Oh no. Unboxing video on humans, oh my god. What the fuck, man?
To really show off the owner's wealth, they would sometimes unwrap them too.
What the
They were used as paint. They call this mummy brown, by the way.
Mummy brown. I'm sorry, but for some reason I'm imagining like a stern lady at an orphanage. Mummy Brown, please! Mummy Brown, can I please go play with my toy? No!
Were used as fertilizer.
Oh man, talk about supercharging your soil.
They were
Seriously? Oh, sometimes I wonder what the fuck was wrong with
even
people.
consumed.
Don't mind if I do.
No, not like this. By grinding them up into powder and taking them like a herbal supplement.
You know, I did buy Grandpa's ashes from Gamer Subs, but mommy ashes? No thank you.
Which they called mumia. But with such high demand for your mum, after a while, they began to run out of stock. Uh-oh.
Jesus
They were becoming
Christ,
rarer
man.
and rarer to find. They were being gobbled off the face of the earth. So the authorities passed a bunch of laws to protect mummies from becoming altogether extinct. These are the last two of their
Jesus
species,
Christ.
and they're both male, but they won't mate. No. But the mummy is much like the Tasmanian tiger. Every once in a while, one will just kind of show up and prove that they're not altogether extinct.
I'm in the north.
The year
Oh my
2013. The location?
What is
Dyfels
wrong
in northwest
with
Germany.
people?
We are at the Kettler household, owned by grandfather Kettler, who is now dead.
2013.
But he had a son, Lutz Kettler. And Lutz Kettler also had a son, Alexander Kettler. And they are
Okay.
both there at the house. After a rainy day, there was a leak in the roof. So 10-year-old Kettler gets up into the attic to explore. You know, have a bit of a look around. There's a whole bunch of stuff in there. Old antiques, photographs, and, oh, some old roof tiles. Those will be useful. So he goes over to the roof tiles and, behind them is something strange. A box. A mystery box. Now, the kid is smart
A
and he's
lit
seen
box, let's
Jumanji, so
go.
he knows not to touch the box and instead go tell his dad. Now, the dad drags the box into the center of the room. And he opens it.
Okay.
And inside, a smaller box. But it's very curious because it is covered in hieroglyphs.
Whoa.
So, Lutz crosses his fingers, hoping nothing supernatural will happen. And he opens the inner box. Inside is a mummy. Oh my god. But there's more. There's also two smaller boxes. One contained a death mask, and the other...
Death masks are typically made in the likeness of the person mummified. They were thought to protect the soul in the afterlife. Canopic jars were containers used to hold the organs, which are removed during the mummification process. The jars were buried with the body so the deceased could take them to the
A
afterlife.
canopic jar. Alright, so he might have a dead body in the house now. So naturally, he calls the authorities. The police show up and ask some questions. Lutz then explains a little bit of backstory. He remembers that in the 1950s, his father went to Derna in Libya.
Okay.
There, he acquired a chest and had it shipped back home. He remembers a conversation about it, but grandfather Kettler insisted that it was a replica.
Das ist ein Replika, son.
Not a real mummified person. Now, at this point, the police did not think it was a real body, but it was worth getting it scanned just in case. So he loaded it up in his station wagon, and off he went to the Berlin Archaeological Institute. Now, they agreed to do a scan.
They had a random
and so
mummy
they
in
fiddled
their
with
home.
buttons and dials and stuff, and it's fake, right? It's fake? Well, here's where things get a little more dramatic. Results inconclusive. There is a fully formed skeleton here. Now, that is unusual for a
Okay.
fake. Often a fake will just be shaped like a person, then filled with sticks and cloth and rubbish. However, it got even stranger. They found that all of the bones were wrapped in some sort of metal plating or foil.
The heck?
Next, they looked at the skull, and that's where things were the most odd. It was very realistic. Its teeth had roots. Its form was more intricate than the typical fake. It also had a laurel, but even more notably,
laurel?
there was an arrowhead lodged in the eye socket. Now that is very unusual for a fake. Hold on, I got more evidence to do. So they're doing more tests and stuff. All right, we've carbon tested the linen wraps. What's the verdict? Well, those are from the 1900s. Now the plot is thickening. We have a supposed fake mummy, but with a very realistic skull, perhaps murdered
someone
by an arrow to
murdered
the
a
head
poor
and bandages
person
that
and
date to the
mummified it.
modern day. That presents a new problem because it's not unheard of for people to do a murder in the modern day and then cover things up by disguising the body as an ancient artifact.
Oh my god.
For example, in the year 2000, there was a man who claimed he found the mummy of an ancient Persian princess, the daughter of Xerxes. However, when they examined the body, they found it was, in fact, a potential murder victim
Oh
from
my
1996
God.
who died from bludgeoning. All right, so the police now actually have to get involved, and it's about to get even more complicated. So they confiscate the body and they do their own tests, and the results this time say, nope, this thing is 2,000 years old. It's not fake at all. It's ancient.
Oh my god.
What? So eventually the experts all get together and go, okay, this is dumb. Let's take it to Eppendorf University.
The guy literally went and told the media that it's like 2,000 years old and tried to pawn it off.
And have it properly tested, and not just tested, crack the thing open like a delicious Kinder Surprise. So this new set of experts gets to work, and when they open up the mummy... All right, remember how we said that the bones were covered in a special type of foil or metal plating? Well, it turns out the scientists didn't quite get that right. Instead, the bones were sprayed with a metallic chemical that prevented X-rays from going through. The bones were made from plastic. Or at least the body was. Turns out the skull is real. What? Yes, a real skull, and not from an ancient mummy, but from a 20th century man. However, it was not a murder. This skull is from a cadaver, and it was medically prepared for educational purposes.
What? Bruh! Poor Gramps got scammed as well. The plot twists! Process for medically preparing a skull. Soft tissue removal. Boil in water. Add potassium hydroxide. Continue boiling. Bleach by soaking in hydrogen peroxide. Wash with water. Soak in acetone. Air dry. Liqueur. I see.
And what about that arrowhead? Well, it
I
turns
see.
out that that's from a
Thank you for that.
children's toy. Someone just popped that in the eye socket as a joke. So finally, the mystery was solved. It's just a plastic skeleton with a real dead guy's head put on it. But how does that solve the mystery? Anyway, so Lutz was satisfied that the whole thing was fake and not a murder victim. Oh, let's put that
That
back
is
in
so
the attic,
weird.
he said very Germanly. But then, eine Bitte? Was ist das? He says. Another box?
Oh god.
The Book of the Dead? Well, that sounds like a fun read. So Lutz starts reading the ancient Egyptian out loud.
Yes, I'm sure he is.
Brendan Fraser.
I'm
And
sure
what
he
happens
was.
next
In perfect German
will
too,
shock
right?
you and make for a very good thumbnail. Hey there, champ.
Can you imagine being someone like it is honestly very fitting to be in Oddities video because like someone literally just went and wrapped up went to a medical class, wrapped everything up, stole one of the student skulls that were used in studies, even put in a toy arrow for funsies, and then pawned it off to an unknown foreigner and sold it as an actual mummy. Like, that's kind of brilliant, but also like, what the fuck?
You're probably wondering why I'm out here on this park bench.
No, I'm not.
Sometimes I just come to see the autumn leaves. Winter will be here soon. Dust in the wind. Truth is, sport, I have a highly contagious respiratory disease. I won't be around much longer. Dust in the wind.
Oh my god.
I'm like Willy Wonka from that movie.
Oh my god.
And you're like that ugly kid from the Willy Wonka movie.
Oi!
Who gets all his stuff. Or the Oompa Loompa. I don't know. I haven't seen it.
Now I want chocolate
The point
again.
is you're so close to being fancy. I can feel it. There's just one lesson left to learn.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, speaking of ancient Egypt, here's this ancient Egyptian gun.
What?
Franz Ferdinand, what are you doing here? Of course, he's not the real Franz Ferdinand. He's a mummy. Now, the thing about the ancient Egyptian gun
He's
is
a
that it's very
mummy.
sensitive.
You sure it wasn't the real one?
Oh. I hit your congratulations for being somewhat fancy cake. Come on, Mr. Ferdinand. We've got to clean this up before the Park Services Commission hears about this, and they make another complaint.
Oh god.
Right, we're almost done with the series, and then it's back to the usual content. So in case you missed it, there's also Drinking on Incognito, a new story mode out
god.
next week. And if you like fancy, that's
I like
great.
the cleaning
But if you don't
process
like fancy,
at the
don't
end
worry,
there.
it's not forever. Ooh, goodbye. Ooh.
Goodbye.
Don't forget NordVPN. NordVPN.com/.
Oh, that was really fun. That was an enjoyable video. I can't, like, half of it I'm like, what the actual heck? And like, I need to like Google this and check some stuff out. And half of them was just, people are really weird. And I wish I could forget I learned this. But it was still a very fun video.